On January 1st, the United States was set to go over the so-called Fiscal Cliff, a set of predetermined legislative tax hikes and budget cuts that some say could have plunged the U.S. back into a recession. Congress managed at the last moment to delay that scenario, but more battles between the White House and Congress over spending and taxes are expected soon. And here to help us make sense of all of this is VOA national correspondent Jim Malone. Jim, first of all, we keep talking about this so-called fiscal cliff. Basically, what does it actually mean?
Well, it meant that unless Congress acted, taxes for everyone were going to go up, and some severe government budget cuts were going to go into place. Now, those budget cuts have been put off just for 2 months now, and taxes went up only on the very wealthy. That's something President Obama had campaigned for during the campaign. He got his way. So on taxes, the Democrats won a victory. They had some increases for the wealthy, but now all the focus will be on spending cuts, and we have several more opportunities for those battles to be fought.
Well, but we keep hearing, though, that the Democrats, the president, wants yet even more taxes. Is that correct?
They do want more, at least, tax breaks removed, especially again for wealthy. Yeah, but look, this is the underlying battle for this administration. It was in the first term, will continue to be in the second. Both sides are looking at spending cuts, where to make them, but neither side is willing to put up the specific cuts right now because they're afraid of the political consequences. The side that goes first will get a lot of heat from special interest groups who don't want their special interest cut.
Well, but those cuts are going to either come from, as I understand it, defense, Medicare, and Social Security. Are those the ones that nobody wants to touch?
Well, you've hit on what we call the entitlement programs. They fund pensions, they fund health care for older Americans, and health care for poor Americans, Medicaid. These are huge money-eating programs that are very popular, so voters are very wary of any deep changes, and that's why neither party wants to go first proposing something specific. But in the end, they're going to have to at least start to look at these programs if they're going to make any serious cuts for years to come.
Well, the United States is operating under a temporary legislative measure at the moment. So when does that expire, and when it does, what would happen after that?
Well, look, you've got a couple of things coming to bear here. The government soon will have to try to raise the debt ceiling so they can borrow more money to pay their bills. The 2-month delay will run up in March about these government cuts we talked about. They're going to have to deal with that, or those cuts go into effect. And the temporary spending measure that was put in place for the government to keep running last year, it runs out in March. So we're going to have more battles to come. The president may have won the first round, but it's unclear now heading in where both sides stand.
Now, there was a government shutdown back in 1995. What did that do, and is it possible that it could happen again, and what would that mean?
Republicans did not fare well from that government shutdown. Bill Clinton and the president had the upper hand. This time, though, some Republicans are again talking, especially in the House of Representatives. They might want to force a shutdown. Their hope would be to force the administration into spending cuts. Otherwise, the government would shut down indefinitely.
All right, VOA national correspondent Jim Malone.